Hetapu, Namaste, Haru Nefer. This is Kasakma Keperu with another video for you. And in this video, I want to talk about let the great purge of limitation begin. But before I do that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live or when I upload recorded videos. And we also have some free ebooks for you that will expand more on my spiritual teachings. You can click the links below and download them today and start reading them. Also, if you haven't already, think about becoming a Patreon supporter. As a Patreon supporter, you get access to instructional videos on how to meditate, how to invoke spirits, how to work with the oracles, and special hypnosis videos that will allow you to attract wealth, to become more confident, and to lose weight. So, Hetapu, how are you today? Okay, right. So let's get right into the subject matter here, and let's talk about some really good stuff here. Purging limitations from our lives so that we can now realize our divinity and realize who exactly we are. You know what I mean? Because, one thing I stressed on this channel is that you're not a human. You're not a simple creature. You're not a race. You're not a political affiliation. You're not a gender. You're a consciousness. You are God. You're a divinity. And you need to recognize yourself as such. But that does not negate the fact that you have those who are in the high echelons of society who are conspiring against you, conspiring to keep the knowledge of yourself, your true self, away from you and from the masses of the people, because they do not want the masses of the people to awaken to the knowledge of their real legacy, their real inheritance, that is infinite power, infinite wisdom, oneness with source energy, oneness with God. They don't want us to understand that. They don't want us to understand what we really can do. You see, we live in a society that is a construct. Let me say that it is a construct, and it only exists for such. Michael Talbot, in his book, The Holographic Universe, called it a universal holographic experience, a hologram. In Star Trek, they call it the holodeck. But that's what it is. It is a construct that you partly built so that you can have an experience, so that you can realize your power. You see, you create the construct to give you a challenge. And in giving you the challenge, it awakens within you your power. And you come to the realization of your power. Because if it wasn't for the challenge, you would not know you had the power. If it wasn't for the ruling elite who have taken control of the planet, you would not now be listening to me and working on the realization of your divinity, of your God state. So you need them. And in the Kemetic religion, we talk about Set, how Set is a vital, important part of the story of Asar and the Set. No challenge, no power. But we see this challenge as a limitation, a force that is holding from attaining the things that we want in life. But we have the wrong perspective on this. We don't see things clearly. We don't see how these challenges, these obstructions, these limitations, which are governed by the goddess Sekert. She is the master priestess, the master witch. She governs structure and limitations and time and cycles and power. We don't understand that these challenges and obstructions are there to bring out the best in us. And that in dealing with them and understanding these challenges, we then become more powerful. Do you understand what I'm saying? If it were not for the ruling elite, you would not know who you are. So they, in some sense, help you. If it were not for the corrupt government, you would not know what you could do and the possibilities that are there before you. Let us understand this. The construct that we see before us, that we call fourth dimensional reality, that we had a part in creating, goes unquestioned. That is why it proposes a hindrance to us that we perceive as a hindrance, but that's an illusion. You have fallen victim to a false ideology, a false statement. Let me give you an example. I asked my friend, if I got up right now and walked through that wall, what would happen? He says, you can't walk through a wall. You would hit the wall and bounce back. And then I would say, you're right. But that is a false statement because quantum mechanics tells us that everything vibrates, that the subatomic particles that compose your body are vibrating. Nothing is solid. So how is it that you are bouncing back? No, that's an illusion. That's not real. The reality is you should be able to pass through the wall. Now, the question you must ask is, what is the probability of me doing it in this space-time continuum? You see, my beloved, it is all BS, belief system, and it is all BS, bullshit. You see, the construct that we live in, we have in part agreed to it, understandably, so that we can have this experience in this holographic holodeck. But it was not ever meant to stay in place and to keep us confined. It has gone amok. It has gone out of control. It is malfunctioning. It is malfunctioning because we are malfunctioning, because it is a projection of us. We project outward the holographic experience, and we interact with the holographic experience. We interact with the avatars, the icons. We interact with them. We create them, and we are malfunctioning. So therefore, the hologram is malfunctioning. You have been lied to. And you go out your daily life, day after incarnation after incarnation, life after life after life, living a lie. You are living a lie. And thus you are a liar. Stop lying to yourself and embrace the truth. The truth is ma'at. The truth will set you free. The truth will open the door. Sebek says if your belief is in line with truth, he will open the way to your success. But the way is closed. The door is closed because you live a lie. Every day you live a lie and you go along with it. Therefore, you're culpable for it. Don't you dare ever blame the ruling elite. Don't you dare ever blame the president, blame the government, blame the criminal who robbed the bank, who robbed your son, who robbed your daughter. Don't you ever blame the drug dealer who sold your children drugs because you live a lie and you went along with everything. And although I won't hold you 100% responsible for it, you are now perpetuating the lie. You see, when I watch a TV program and I see the real estate guy on the program talking about, I was living in my apartment a year ago eating chili. Now I'm in my jet and I have these two beautiful women with me, and you can do the same thing. You can be in a jet, a private jet like this. And when I wake up in the morning and I go to work at 9 a.m. and I say to myself, if I had $1 million, I wouldn't have to work. If I could hit the lotto, I wouldn't have to work. I could be like that guy in his private jet. Who told you that you needed $1 million to have a lavish lifestyle? Who told you that? Who lied to you? When you go to work, you drive to work, you get on the train, and it says it'll take you about 45 minutes to get to work. Who said that? Who said that? Who put that rule in place? Who said it takes 45 minutes? Why should it take 45 minutes? Did you ever question it? When you get your check and you know that your check every week is what, $700, let's say, and you look at your check and it says $700, who said it had to say 700? Why couldn't it say $15,000? Why couldn't it? You see, you don't question these things. You don't question these limitations, these so-called challenges. Therefore, you perpetuate them. You go along with them. They're merely post-hypnotic suggestions. They are just suggestions. And that's exactly how God meant them to be, suggestions, because you are God. See, you need them temporarily to awaken your power and awaken to a consciousness of who you are. But after you are awakened, you no longer need those limitations. So now you need to start questioning those limitations. Who said you can't have a beautiful mate? Who said you can't have a mate who supports you and loves you? Who said that when you go to the bank and look at your bank statement, it can't say $300,000? Why can't it? Why can't it? Well, because logically, if you only have 2,000 in your bank account, it doesn't logically pan out that it would just say $300,000 unless the bank made a mistake. Well, who said they can't? Who said they can't? Who made that rule? Who said that logically every time I look at my bank statement, the figure has to be the same always? Don't we live in a realm of possibility, of infinite possibility? Doesn't quantum mechanics, doesn't science tells us that all things are possible, although maybe not probable, but they are possible? Well, yeah, that's true, but what? And if it's and isn't it true that reality doesn't exist apart from the observer? So I am the observer. So I create the reality that's before me. Yeah, that's true. So then if I create the reality that's before me, I can create whatever I want. Yeah, that's true. But what? And that the BS, the belief systems that I have, are just reinforcing the status quo. That is true. And if I am reinforcing the status quo, then I'm imposing self-imposed limitations. Bingo, light bulb over the head. That's correct. You're putting in place limitations where there should be no limitations, where there were meant to be no limitations. You see, in the very beginning, we all agreed, the mass collective agreement, to have this experience and to have these challenges or limitations. But after a while, when you come into the realization of who you are, which is God, you're supposed to do away with those limitations. But yet you keep them in place by going along with them day in and day out and day in. Do you understand? Well, Kasaka, I understand, but how do you stop them? How do you change things then? I don't have the power to make my bank account go from $1,000 to $300,000. Yes, you do have the power. Yes, you do. And you only need to do one simple thing. All you have to do is one simple thing. God is not a complicated God. God does not demand a lot from you. God says, your power is so simple. If you want your bank account to go from 1,000 to $300,000, God says, just do one thing, one simple thing. What is it? What is that one simple thing? The one simple thing doesn't ask you to meditate. No. It doesn't ask you to get some special herbs. No. It doesn't ask you to get some incense. No. Does it ask you to get some candles? No. Does it ask you to do a ritual? No. It's simpler than that. And if you do this, you will free yourself from limitation. Very simple. You mean God is that loving that he would give us something so simple to do that it could remove and purge the limitations from us? Absolutely. I'm going to say it again for those of us who rode on the back of the bus or rode the special bus. All right. You see, the limitations were all agreed upon them before we were incarnated. We all agreed to them. This is our souls agreed to them. But the agreement would have to be broken when we came into the realization of who we are. That's why it says, know thyself. So when you came into the realization of who you are, it is now time to purge yourself of those limitations. But those limitations, you're keeping them in place by maintaining the status quo, by going along with the lies. By going along with the lies. I get on a plane. Plane says, okay, we can go from New York to Los Angeles. It's going to take 8 hours. Who said? Who said it has to take 8 hours? Well, you take this coin in the slot machine, you play the slot machine, you may win, but the odds are against you. Who said the odds are against me? Why can't they be for me? Who said they're against me? Well, the odds are always in the house's favor. Who said that? Who put that rule in place? All right. Well, you play the lottery, and the odds of you winning are 69 billion to one. Who said that? Who put those odds in place? Hmm. You see, the secret that you don't understand is that there is a puppeteer. There's an architect who controls this system that we call the matrix or we call reality. There is someone behind the scenes manipulating everything and controlling it. Hollywood knows this. This is why they make movies about it. And you should know it too. And if you ever find the door and you walk through that door, you will meet the architects. But then you will never come back because they will kill you. That's how it works. They will not let you leave knowing that you have seen them, knowing that you have seen behind the curtain, as if in The Wizard of Oz. That was the whole basis of The Wizard of Oz, trying to reveal to you that there's a door, there's a curtain that you can walk through and see the mechanics of how this reality works. Let us get deeper into that. And one of the things that reveals it to us is that movie, The Matrix. Let us quickly take a look at that. All right.
I am the architect. I created the matrix. I've been waiting for you. You have many questions, though the process has altered your consciousness. You remain irrevocably human. Ergo, some of my answers you will understand, some of them you will not. Consequently, while your first question may be the most pertinent, you may or may not realize it is also the most irrelevant. Why am I here? Your life is the sum of a remainder of an unbalanced equation inherent to the programming of the matrix. You are the eventuality of an anomaly which, despite my sincerest efforts, I have been unable to eliminate from what is otherwise a harmony of mathematical precision. it remains a burden assiduously avoided, it is not unexpected and thus not beyond a measure of control, which has led you inexorably here.
You haven't answered my question.
Quite right. Interesting. That was quicker than the others.
Others? How many? Others? What? Answer one question.
The Matrix is older than you know. I prefer counting from the emergence of one integral anomaly to the emergence of the next, in which case this is the 6th version.
5 months. 2 possible explanations. There were 5 months before. Either no one told me, or no one knows.
Precisely. As you are undoubtedly gathering, the anomaly is systemic, creating fluctuations in even the most simplistic equations.
Choice. The problem is choice.
The first Matrix I designed was quite naturally perfect. It was a work of art, flawless, sublime, triumph,
Ooh.
beaten only by.
Did he say choice? Did he say the problem is choice? Very interesting. Let's look at that now. Notice how he opens the door. The key unlocks and opens the door, revealing the inner workings. Now, the question I have to you, Magi's, which is the most important question. Would you walk through that door if you ever encountered it? Because you would never be the same if you walked in that room.
I want to talk to him.
You can speak. I can hear you. Who are you? I am the creator of a television show that gives hope and joy and inspiration to millions.
Then who am I?
You're the star.
Was nothing real?
You were real. It's what made you so good to watch. Listen to me, Truman. There's no more truth out there than there is in the world I created for you. Same lies. The same deceit. But in my world, you have nothing to fear. I know you better than you know yourself.
Never had a camera in my head.
You're afraid. That's why you can't leave. It's okay, Truman. I understand. I have been watching you your whole life. I was watching when you were born. I was watching when you took your first step. I watched you on your first day of school. The episode when you lost your first tooth. You can't leave, Truman. You belong here. With me. Talk to me. Say something.
Say something, goddammit. You're on television. You're live to the whole world.
In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Yeah.
That's all she wrote. So the question is, would you walk through that door, knowing that you could never, ever come back, and you would not come back? I was so fed up with this reality. I was so upset with the challenges that I said, I'm going to find the door. I'm going to walk through that door. And I found the door, but I pondered it for about a year of packing up and just going there, knowing that if I walked through that door, they would never let me come back and they would kill me. So I did the only right thing I could do. I went to the oracle and I said, I'm fed up with this reality. I want to know more. I want to see behind the curtain. I want to walk through the door. I did the reading with the i-ching and I went to the Metuneta. And i-ching said, wait, your life is of value and of importance. Wait, do not go. And I obeyed the oracle because I knew, as I said, that what would happen if I walked through the door. And I wouldn't be the first. There have been many, many, many people who have found that door and walked through it and never heard from again. And it's something that you have to be prepared for because the mere fact that you know where the door is very dangerous because those who are in control will start to watch you very carefully and to see what you will do. But let me go back to the subject at hand. Because just so you know, everyone who's walked through the door, they have found their bodies. So this is no science fiction film. There's no happy ending. As I said before, if you walk through that door, they will not let you live because you will be able to see behind the curtain. You will be able to see the architects at work and how they create and manipulate this reality. Do you think they will let you live to come back here and talk about that? No, no. But there have been many people who've been passionate about learning the truth. and it's cost them their lives. So I want you to think about that. So for now, let us use our power to make this reality the best that we can. When I was learning from the high priest, the king, he told me, he said, Kesank, you can ride in coach in this lifetime, or you can ride in first class. The status quo is coach. First class is realizing your divinity and understanding your power. I said, I want to ride in first class. He says, good choice. So, as I said before, we all live the lie and we keep the status quo going. So, in part, we all have a hand in this grand lie, this grand scheme. So, we are to blame. So, don't go around cursing fate, cursing your parents, cursing the system, cursing the president, cursing the Senate, cursing the Congress, cursing the mailman, cursing your boss, cursing the job, cursing the freeway, cursing the subway. Look at yourself and say, why have I kept a lie going when I know I should be challenging it? Because you are the power and you continually empower limitations. I'm saying to you right now, purge yourself of the limitations. Get rid of limitations. It's time to stop. It served its purpose in the beginning to stretch your spiritual muscle, but now it's gone amok. Now you are preventing yourself from realizing your potential. I gave the analogy the other day of the car I bought, and everyone telling me that car is fast, man. It's a 350Z. It's fast. You keep riding it like it's a stagecoach. You can power that thing up and speed through the freeway. And when I did, the car threw my person back into the seat and took off, and I felt freedom. I felt the wind. When you feel the power that you have, you're going to feel freedom. You're going to feel the wind. You're going to know that you are God. You're going to know that you have been fallen victim to a lie and perpetrated a lie of self-imposed limitations. It's time to end this. It's time to purge ourselves of that lie. And as I said before, God only asks one simple thing of you in order to do this. You don't have to put together a spell. You don't have to do a ritual. You don't have to buy special herbs. You don't have to buy a program. It's so simple. Every time the matrix brings a challenge to you, or as we say, an opportunity, every time the opportunity comes your way, you do one simple thing to make it go away for good. As I said, who says you have to have $1 million to live an abundant life? Who said you have to have $1 million to have a mansion? Who says you have to have $1 million to have your own personal jet plane? Who said that? Because they lied to you. Who said it takes 8 hours to go from here to LA? Who said that? Who said that a woman has to go through labor to have a child and it's painful? Who said that? Why should it? Why should it? Doctor told me, Kasank, you're very, very sick. You're going to be in pain the rest of your life. Take it easy. Well, who said that? And why should I? I was in school. My teacher says, well, your son is not very bright. Kasank is a slow learner. Who said so? You see, although I may have agreed to the mass consensus agreement in the beginning, I don't agree to it now. I'm breaking that contract. I'm breaking that agreement because I know that all things are possible, that we live in abundance, that there is infinity, that God is infinite, and that we are infinite. We have no beginning and we have no end. So whenever an opportunity or a challenge arises, I challenge it. That's all you have to do, is just challenge it. Who says that when I look at my check, it has to say the same figure every time? Who said that? And I ask myself those questions. Who said that? Why can't I? Why should it? That's all you've got to do. Those three statements. Every time you feel as a limitation comes to you or opposes you, you ask these three simple questions. Who said so? Why can't I? Why should it? In each and every time you challenge it, it becomes weaker and weaker and weaker to the point where it does not exist anymore. You break the matrix, you break the rules, and your power comes to fruition. I'm sorry, sir. You're going to have to wait in line. Who said so? Why should I? Do you understand what I'm saying? You've got to question it. You see, these rules were put in place for a very good reason in the beginning, but they're not meant to stay there. They're not meant to stay there. And if you look at those individuals who we want to call your multimillionaires, those living a lifestyle that you may admire, they have one thing in common. They do not accept limitations. They do not buy into it. But because most of us have been beaten down by the status quo, that we have conformed and we go according to a schedule. We get up every day, brush our teeth, take a shower, go to work, repeat, wash, rinse, and repeat, wash, rinse, and repeat. And you don't stop and you don't say, why do I need to get up to go to work? Who said so? Why should I? Uh-huh. Now, now that you understand this, there's something you must also understand, which is just as important. You are so powerful that you have put in a limitation that is very strong, and it's not going to go away easily. You've empowered your own limitation. It's like you created a brick wall, and through the years, you've added more cement layers onto it, another cement layer, another cement layer. So do not expect the wall to fall because one day you wake up and question it. No, you've got to chip away at it a day at a day at a time, till one day you chip away and you see the light piercing through. That's how it works. That's how your power comes into full fruition. You have to honor the belief systems that you had in the past, and you must adhere to them, but also challenge them. Don't wake up tomorrow morning and says, Kasong says I don't have to go to work today. No, I didn't say that. I said you need to challenge it every day. Challenge it every day. And then one day you're going to wake up and your reality will be so different. How will it happen? It can happen anyway. Anyway. Don't limit it. Don't tell it how it should happen. Allow the intelligence within you that we call Osir to work out the details, because that's the God element within you. The God element within you will work out the details. You may wake up one day and your girlfriend or wife may jump you in the bathroom and say you just hit lotto. Or someone passed away in your family and left you. $250,000. Allow God within you to decide how to make it happen, but you just question it. You question it. Why should I have to pay for parking? Who said so? All you got to do, so simple. All you got to do, and then move on. Move on. Coworker comes and says, "Our boss is an asshole." Well, who said so? Why does she have to be an asshole? Who said so? Why should she be? And then you're going to find her being so sweet to you, like Heather. Do you understand me, family? Do you understand what I am saying? The mere challenging of those limitations will purge them from your life. And when you start to challenge everything, then you'll be ready to go through that door. Then you will be ready. Can I get an ashe? Can I get an ashe in the chat room, please? If you're feeling me, I have imparted to you some real wisdom here that you can now use to embark on a new journey where you will no longer see the obstructions and limitations in your life as problems, but as opportunities for you to grow. And you can take comfort knowing that one day they will not be there. And now, let us go to the I-ching oracle and let us ask the oracle what it thinks about this. Because when we consult the oracle, we are consulting God. So let us ask God, equipped with this new information on how to challenge the matrix, we'll ask this question: what is the best way to approach this in our lives? That is the question. What is the best way to approach this technique in our lives? All right. All right. Here we go. We got an answer here. It's a beautiful answer. It's also a challenging answer. All right. Are you guys with me? And I know you all Magi's have been studying the I-ching, so you know this reading. Hold on one second. Make a widescreen. There we go. So we have the 30th hexagram, fourth line stress. 30th hexagram, fourth line stress. And I'm reading my I-ching here. Now, as you know, there are various different interpretations of the I-ching. And the one I'm using is the Wilhelm Baines version. 30th hexagram, which is clinging fire, which is light. That is the light of clarity. You now have clarity on things. Fourth line stress, which is the consultation, fourth line. All right, the fourth line. It comes up sudden, it flames up, dies down, is thrown away. Clarity of mind has the same relation to life that fire has to wood. Fire clings to wood, but it also consumes it. Clarity of mind is rooted in life, but can also consume it. Everything depends upon how the clarity functions. Here, the image is used is that of a meteor or a straw fire. A man who is excitable and restless may rise quickly to prominence, but produces no lasting effects. Thus, matters end badly when a man spends himself too rapidly and consumes himself like a meteor. So God is saying with this counsel that you have now received clarity of light, but don't go energetically too much to correct the problems in your life. Take it one step at a time. You don't want to burn the flame, burn the enthusiasm. You don't want to burn out. That's what the I-ching is telling us. And then it changes to what hexagram is that? That's the 22nd hexagram. So the 22nd hexagram talks about form and function, that things need to have a function to them and must serve a purpose, but they must also be beautiful. They must also be pleasant to work with. So in this, what I'm telling you is don't go about your life living and don't have the happiness that goes along with living a spiritual culture. Some people think that because you live spiritually, that you can't have anything pleasant in your life, that everything is about adhering to spiritual doctrine and there's no pleasure in anything. Oh, I got to meditate. Oh, I got to go on my diet, the fasting. Oh, no. God wants everything to be pleasurable. That's the 22nd hexagram. Pleasure. Everything has to have the function and the form, and he married those together. So the I Ching is telling us that you have clarity now, but don't exhaust yourself by going out there and too vigorously trying to change things. And also have joy in your heart with it. Don't see it as a grudgery or adherence to dogma, that your life is so constricted and you have to be so spiritual that you don't have pleasure in this lifetime. That is the consultation of the I Ching, which is the phone to God. And anytime you want to talk to God, you go to the Metu Netter or the I Ching and you ask God any question you want. You ask God, is Kasak on the level? Is Kasak teaching us the right things? And God will answer your question. Is my Christian minister a man of God? And God will answer the question. That is what the oracles are there for. There's no guesswork with what we're doing. And as I told you, I went to the oracle and asked it, should I go through that door? Oracle says, no, wait. Your life is important. Don't go through that door. Time will come when the truth will be revealed. That is what the oracle told me. So, Magi's, in closing, anyone has any questions before I wrap it up? Anything anybody wants me to expand on or wants to get deeper in? Remember, when something in your life comes up that seems like a limitation, 3 statements. First one is, who said so? Second one is, why can't I? Third one is, why should it? You question these things repeatedly. You challenge them through questioning. You don't need no ritual. You don't need no candles. You don't need no program. You don't need anything. Because you are awakened now to your true self. You know who you are, which is God man, God woman. Now you need to stop adhering to these rules that were put in place to guide you to the realization of who you are. Now it's time to break the agreement, to break the rules. You don't break the rules by going out there jaywalking. You understand what I'm saying? You break the rules in the mind because everything is Maya. You're dealing with a construct, a holographic universe, a holographic construction that you help create. And when you created false limitations. Now break those limitations. Now question it. And whenever I want something to manifest, and this is an additional tip, I never get caught up in thinking, how is it going to come to me? I allow the God within me to bring it to me however it sees fit. Because you could get caught up in thinking, well, really, I could never get $1 million because I don't play lotto. I don't gamble. I don't know anybody rich. There you go, putting limitations on yourself. You see, you put limitations on yourself. Just say to yourself that it can happen to me and it can happen any way it can. That's all you have to say. Do not impose limitations upon how it can happen to you. Just know that it can and it will. You're dealing with time and space. We're in a fourth dimensional plane that's subject to 3 dimensions of space and 1 of time. They're inseparable. So you have to give it time to come into manifestation. That we cannot break. Or can we? Who said so? There we go. This is Kasank Ma Keperu, son of Mot and Tahuti. My aunt is a beautiful goddess, Heteru. Until my next video, Amun Ra, my Magi's.